Hello, my name is Matt. Welcome to Unbearable 73. Okay, it's time to review the penultimate episode of Yakamoz, S-245, Season 1. Where we leave off. The crew of the Yakamoz discovered that there were other survivors, or at least that's what we concluded from the airplane tracking that they were engaged in. Kem or Chem, I'm not sure which way they pronounce it, I'm just going to say Kem. Kem, caught in the throes of depression and the urges to re-engage in his substance abuse, made the choice to face the sunlight and end his life. We learned finally what seems to have been driving Commander Umat's mood swings, though I'll have more on that eventually at the end of the season review, which is the loss of his family, and the youngest scientist reminds him of his daughter for some reason. No real notes or change on the production stuff, so let's go straight to the plot. So first, some thoughts on the previous episode, continuing from my opening. While it's 100% natural to conclude that there must be people flying that airplane, just remember that technically this is a TV series that's a prequel to a science fiction novel. So don't form any formal conclusions. And that's not a spoiler. I have no idea about that plane. I haven't even read the novel, just some summaries of it. Although, if I can ever find a physical copy, I might read it, but Amazon only has a digital version, and I'm kind of over ebooks. On Kem's fate. Kem's storyline progressed towards this point in a well-developed story arc, which, as it turns out, is probably the most well-developed story arc of any character in the show. It was all set up very well by the writers, directors, and the actor. He had a prior substance abuse problem, which of course indicates a mental health issue. For those who don't know, a lot of people describe living with mental illness in different ways. I usually say that I'm in remission. I think that's the most accurate way to describe it in the way that I have to live with it. I suspect that those who suffer from issues of substance abuse but succeed probably think or feel in a similar way, if not quite the same. You have to build coping mechanisms, defense mechanisms, and proper outlets and other tools. Now imagine Kem's situation. Basically, the entire world died. His family, which could have been a valid coping mechanism, were gone. Narcotics Anonymous is gone. Any counselors are gone. He's trapped in a submarine and can only go out at night. The food is corrupted. Hell, even the drugs he could turn to are gone. And he's faced with hostility from most of the human beings he has left to interact with. I can see the choice he made. I'm not advocating for it or anything like that. I can just see in the context of this TV show why he made the choice he did. And from a writing point of view, it made sense. The aftermath of Kem's death was also portrayed well. Not only must they mourn Kem, but now they know they have lost one of the few friends left, almost like a psychotic countdown. Commander Umat's story arc finally came together, at least as of this episode. I think they had shown more of what Umat was suffering through earlier. I and others might have found his reactions and behavior more understandable, as he struggled between his duties and his personal grief. The scene between Umat and the young female scientist, whose name still escapes me, was amazing. The best human interaction moment in this series so far. Rena and Altan's breakdown shown at the same time only punctuated Umat's scene. Now on to episodes and specifics. We open with the fate of Kem. I think that's good that this show did not let not seeing Kem 100% for being dead linger as a plot point. It was just over. He was dead. The interesting thing to note was that as a subsurface and they left it, we see lights on all over the city around the naval base. Now, of course, since they're likely filming on an actual leased naval submarine, they'd have had to spend significant special effects money getting rid of all the lights and making it not look like someone just used the erasure tool on all the film frames. But I think showing all the lights on a setting where all the people are dead several days after the event has hit the fan sends a stark message to the audience that the world is over, but it just sort of lingers on with the lights being on until the power eventually goes off and they just all turn off at once. I wonder how many of the audience will actually get that shot, or even if the directors, when they filmed this episode, got that shot. I can't say too much more other than what I have without spoilers, but the pace does pick up for much of episode 6. It feels like a lot more happens in this episode than any episode since the second one, or after this, to be honest. Being the penultimate episode, I think they know they have to pick it up. However, I think the final act 2 of this episode suffered quite a bit. There was something off about how they wrote an event occurring. I won't say what it was, other than say that one act was justified about 10 minutes later after it occurred, and we kind of felt they should have justified it beforehand or shown some sign. The very end seems like it was written by writers who do not understand how well-trained military people are with fire weapons or how that real scenario might have gone. So some final thoughts on episode 6. This is probably the third or fourth best episode so far. Maybe not quite as good as the first or second episode, which is pretty much true of this entire series so far. The first 2 episodes were set up at a real great setup, and since then there have been inconsistencies. Comment down below if you have any questions for me about this video or its contents. Please share your thoughts. Share this video if you enjoyed it. Like if you like. Dislike if you dislike. Subscribe if you want to hear more from me. My name is Matt. This has been Unbearable 7073. Have a nice day. I am out of here.